Alright, David Harry here, and this is one of my prelim or preliminary videos. And if you want to know what I mean by prelim or preliminary video, there'll be a link here to another video explaining what I mean by that. Anyway, what it is, this video is all about testing this CYNOVA, whatever it is, the audio interface for the Osmo Action. Now, I'm going to very specifically be testing something here, and this video is going to come across as a one-to-one, because it is. And this video is for Matt, or Matman, who's another user on the DJI forum. What it is, me and Matt have recently been kind of discussing through a couple of different threads some of the issues to do with this interface, and Matt had suggested something for me to try. Now, what it was, I'd mistakenly said to Matt I'd already done this, but there was one thing specifically that Matt has asked to do with or asked me to do with this and test, which I hadn't done, so apologies for that, Matt. What it was, earlier the other day when I went out to do all my prelims, basically what it is, Matt, I do a ton of different tests. I test everything to distraction before I do a full-blown video, and the reason for that is so I know exactly what that product is about to do or not do. I'm not one of these YouTubers who just takes something out the box and uses it without knowing what it is. And plus also, Matt, just so you know, I've got over 30 years of professional recording experience. By nature, I'm actually a sound engineer and music producer. Also, as well, at the moment, I'm on the internals. There'll be a fair bit of distortion going on here, but you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. So anyway, Matt, what it is, yes, you suggested something. I thought I'd already done this the other day, and I hadn't. So that's quite specifically what I'm going to test for right now. And like I said, there was a number of prelims that I've done, but what it is, I bypassed them completely. Once I got in and I worked out how bad this interface is, I thought, well, there's no point in, like, you know, publishing any prelim tests or anything like that. I might as well just go straight to, yes, I definitely can tell you this doesn't work video. Anyway, Matt, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch over, and as I'm doing it, I'll explain what I'm doing as well for those who don't know what it is that you've asked for. Alright, Matt, what it is, I've now just plugged the microphone in through the audio interface, so this is now what we're listening to. Now, what it is, Matt had suggested two things, one of which I did do, but one I hadn't, and that was, as the microphone is recording or as the take is rolling, to unplug the audio cable and then reinsert it and see what happens as far as like the sound, tone and level of concern and whatnot. So what I'm going to do now is do that with this, and I'll explain something as I'm doing it, because what it is, this particular microphone also senses power as well, so it may switch itself off, so I'll double check that to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, hold on, that is now back onto the internal mic. So as we can see here, the audio cable is being taken out. You can obviously hear the huge difference there, and it sounds better. Right, so what I'm going to do now is plug this back in, but just before I do, I'm going to have to double check first, because like I say, it's power sensing, so let's just make sure the mic does go back on, and I'll do a scratch test on it just in case. Hold on. Okay, so there's a scratch test. I just had a quick look on the back. Hold on. Yeah, it's showing its VU and stuff, and it's showing a level, and there's a little scratch test, although that's more of a muffled test because it's got the dead cat on. But the important thing is here, have we heard a difference? Can we now hear something that sounds better than what it did do before? So just remember, all we've done here is we're recording and then we pull the mic and plug it back in, but only the microphone cable. Now what I'm going to do is the exact same thing, but this time what I'm going to do is do the entire USB interface. So let me just restart a new take with this now. Okay, so this is the start of a brand new take. Now also as well, Matt, don't worry about this, because what I'm doing right now is exactly the same as what would have happened if I'd have continued with the last take. Physically, there's no difference, but the reason why I've done this, and the reason why I didn't do it yesterday or the day before, is because I had a feeling that if you just were to pull the USB, you know, adapter out completely, it may have disrupted something, and may have like basically corrupted the file. It's not going to break anything, but I just thought it may have, like, you know, either stopped recording or it may have just corrupted the file if it had done that. That's why I didn't do it, but obviously it doesn't do that because you've already done this. So what I'm going to do now is just pull the adapter and let's see what goes on. Right, so that's the adapter out. So we're right back to the internals now. Now the same thing, because there it is there. So the same thing, what I'm going to do when I plug it back in, I'll just double check at the back to make sure that the microphone is on. There's going to be a lot of wind here as well with the internals, but we're not testing for wind on the internals here. So give us a second. Okay, so that definitely switched back on. So the microphone definitely come back on, and it's definitely working. There's a VU and there's a tap test. Can't really call it a scratch test because you can't really scratch, you know, a wind muff or something like that, or a dead cat. Anyway, so hopefully, because from what Matt's saying, this is the one where Matt noticed a huge difference. Now hopefully I'm getting the same as well, like a huge difference. Now I say hopefully because, like I said, I did a number of things yesterday, and unfortunately there was nothing conclusive to do with any of it. You know, there was not like one way that you could definitely do something that definitely would work. It was very haphazard and random, but in fairness, it was mostly just bad results all the way through. Yeah, so anyway, do we hear a difference right now? Now I can't tell. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go indoors now and have a quick listen to these takes. Then I'll come back and just do like a little minute or so discussing that. All right then, Matt, just a quick summary then. I've got the edit system on. I've just had a quick listen through. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's definitely a difference, and it's definitely a better difference as well. Now what it is, when I tried it the other day, I actually did do just the cable pull on its own. When I did it, it didn't make a difference. So for me, there's obviously something here which is a bit random. Maybe the pulling of the interface, maybe that always works, I don't know, because I've obviously only done it the once, which is just before to test it for you. But nonetheless, yeah, it definitely works. You know, what you pointed out is absolutely right. But bear in mind, you know, that this was the same thing that I'd already pointed out months and months ago with the Pocket, because it did the same thing, although it also responded to a power cycle variation of when the adapter was in or it was out. Now, these things did eventually get sorted through firmware, but you have to remember this interface is supposedly not made by DJI. Now, that being the case, I don't know whether we can expect the same type of things we would have expected with the original interface for the Pocket, because both of them were designed and made by DJI. So whether or not this one is going to do the same thing, I don't know. But like you've already rightly pointed out, Matt, and it's weird because you seem to be the only person who seems to actually understand and accept that there's a technical problem at foot here. I've already seen people comment on my other video. One of them was saying I was being unfair. Well, I'm being unfair to a massive multinational corporation. Yeah, as if. And another one was going on as if like, well, it was just my preference. Well, you obviously understood this, Matt, that it wasn't. Is that actually a technical problem? Now, yeah, maybe it does get sorted with firmware, but I have a huge problem with that. We're being used as guinea pigs, because there's no two ways about this, right? DJI definitely knew what this problem was before they brought it to market. They have a thing called an R&D department, and they also have other people that stress and test these things, and people who beta test and stuff like that. This was all known about. There's no two ways about it. And bearing in mind that we also had it with the Pocket as well. Come on, this is ridiculous. So yeah, if other people think that, like, you know, DJI should be left off the hook here because, yeah, it can be sorted. Well, if that's your opinion, that's fine. Me, that is not my opinion, and I don't think that that is at all correct. Plus, we don't even know that it definitely will get sorted. This is the thing, because it is not a DJI product. We don't know how far they can go with actually matching up the action to that, you know, to the interface. It may well be a very straightforward thing, but if it is, why is it not working straight away? This is my whole point with all this as well, by the way, Matt. It should just be working. If these things are capable of it, because like you've proven yourself, and I've just copied the test you said to do, we've seen a better difference. Whether it's the best version, I don't know, but it is definitely a better difference, and that would be the type of recording where you wouldn't have people arguing with it, you know. So you've obviously proven that, and I've just proven it as well off the back of your tests as well, that it definitely is capable of doing something. Well, that being the case, why is it not doing it? You know, this is what people have to understand and ask themselves. And this is why I personally am not letting any manufacturer off the hook when they do stuff like this. And this is the reason why I'm jumping boat anyway. Only because of only on the Action, and only because of this problem. I love the Pocket. There's probably other DJI stuff that I'd like if I used it, but I'm not being treated this way with this stuff and all the rest of it. And I most certainly don't care for idiots who don't understand the difference between personal taste and technical fact. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, stuff all that. Anyway, then I'm shooting off, Matt, because I've got to edit this onto the end of what I've just shown you, and then upload it and stuff like that. Anyway, Matt, hopefully this has been interesting for you and anybody else who's come across it. Anyway, I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.